So yeah.
Also, you may want to just quickly, I'm noticing, maybe put the strobes to the auto position.
That's the other thing too, is we need to go here. So I'm going to go landing lights on. I'm going to do nose to takeoff. Strobe in auto or on?
Auto's fine. I forgot the actual.
It's probably an
the
altitude.
exact. There's a timing of when it comes on. I forgot what circumstances it comes on under, but auto works just fine.
Okay, sometime in cruise it maybe. Who knows? Or it could be above altitude, maybe transition altitude. Who knows? Someone will tell us.
Yep.
Okay. Do you use nav and logo 1 or 2?
Just 1's fine. 2 is to force the tail light on at all times.
Okay.
So I just leave 1 on. But, at night, too, it looks cool, obviously, up at 35,000 feet.
Now, obviously, with the... Oh, do I need to go back to normal on my start?
What's that? What do you mean? Down on the ignition switch?
Yeah, I didn't change it back to norm. Okay,
yep.
Norm. Okay, flaps are set. Speed brakes are armed. Now, in the Flight Factor 320, I've had a tendency to go into A floor, toga lock, just because the detents, I just didn't get a hold of them sometimes. Now I'm better now than I used to be. Is it a similar situation here where you want to?
Detents in this are drastically different, in my opinion.
Okay.
I feel in this aircraft there's a lot more room for the actual manual thrust control, but
Okay.
you may want to hold down the brakes right now just to kind of get a feel for it. But I don't think you'll have any situation once you find that flex detent and you rotate. I mean, you're not going to be. The fly-by-wire is super spot on and stable. You're going to really be in control.
Okay. WJT says he doesn't think the auto works in the 319. Okay, at present probably. Yeah. That place is always great. It's the only airport I've paid for other than John Wayne. Yeah, that's a good fun airport. And that's where Max went for Christmas in the real world. Lucky dog. I want to go to St. Bart someday. Okay, so am I ready for takeoff?
I believe so. Your ECAM shows no blue, meaning there's nothing else you need to do vital to the aircraft. I mean, you have your flex performance set. You have your flight directors on. Everything is set. You're showing the dots next to each heading, speed, and altitude. You have your lights on, your signs on. I think your trim is also set, correct?
No. I set it in the MCDU. It said 0.1, but I didn't set it here.
So if you quickly wiggle your flight controls, you'll get. I think they're already up. Yeah, it looks like the flight control page is already up on the lower ECAM. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the wheel page. You're going to want to set that with whatever your trim switch is. Also, well, I'm not going to overload you, but yeah, just do that first.
Okay, so flight control here. Yeah, everything looks like we got 0.0. Okay, so that's a nice way to. Let's see here. There's 0.1. Okay, that's nice because in the past I've just eyeballed it. I haven't referenced the flight control screen, so that's handy. Mitchy Mitch says auto strobes does work.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Also, as I mentioned to you,
updated.
this aircraft, the reverse thrusters, the control that you set it to is to engage reverse thrusters. There is no 1 and 2. It just has to be toggle reverse thrusters. So I've had that happen where I tried to land and the reversers didn't come out because I had the wrong control selected.
Okay, well I have mine bound to a slider on my joystick. It's just this red one here, number 14, and it's bound to toggle thrust reversers.
Perfect. Yep, you're in good shape.
Okay.
So
Now,
you toggle them, and of course, you would increase the thrust to.
Yeah. Now it's interesting that this did a flex of 68.
Mm-hmm.
I've always done 40 or 44.
Yeah, different. I found this aircraft gives me a lot higher V speeds and a lot higher of flex than the 320. Now I'm calculating the flex temperature and stuff like that based off of a website program that's built for the FS Labs. But I don't know. I'm not an Airbus pilot, so I can't attest to the actual performance. But from what at least Tim has told me, that this is pretty much, it works 100% of the time getting you off the runway with their performance calculation tool.
Okay. Oh, it looks like I do.
So I would trust it.
Runway follow contours. Full Flight says, I'm pretty sure Navlights 2 only changes what lights you use. If Navlights 1 burn out, you can switch over to Navlights 2 without having to call a mechanic to fix it, so there are no delays. Not sure, though. Interesting. Does the weather radar work, Brad?
Weather radar does work in this aircraft. You can turn it on right now if you'd like to. It utilizes the default X-Plane 11 weather radar. I can show you how to work that real quick if you're interested.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit there, but I think you came back. Is it down here on the pedestal here for WX?
Yeah, it should be just below the move too.
Say that again? It should be okay.
Just below the radio section.
Yep.
Just below it.
Yep, that's on WX now.
So you have to do a couple things down there.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
System 1 or 2?
Yeah, system 1's fine.
Okay.
And then you're going to go ahead and turn the mode to WX plus T. That's just weather and turbulence. It's not going to depict turbulence, but that's just what they set that to.
Okay.
You do the PWS to auto, which I believe is something in relation to wind shear.
PWS to auto, all right.
Multiscan to auto.
Multiscan auto.
And the GCS to auto as well.
GCS
and then
auto.
For a typical departure, when you're climbing up, you would set the tilt to about maybe 4 degrees, 5 degrees or so to tilt up to see what's going on above you.
Okay. And sorry, the gain, do you change the gain?
No, you're fine.
Okay. All right, one little last check of chat before I take off here. You recognize this voice. Bill, how's it? This is Brad M. Brad M. Shout out to Brad M. And also, Brad, I've really loved the fact that you've got transcoding in the evenings. I think it's coming.
Yeah.
I think it's coming onto you because of the number. I think you're doing triple digits, and it's just so convenient to be able to change if I have any sort of buffering because everyone in my neighborhood jumped on Netflix. I'm still able to watch your stream because I can scale that back, and so that's really cool.
Yeah, it's been hit or miss lately, but it seems to be pretty steady, which is nice because a lot of guys from across the pond up in Alaska, they can't always tune in with the 1080p, so it's nice.
Mm. Final says it's predictive wind shear. It warns you before it happens.
There you go.
I don't think. Oh, I didn't do a shout out. I just did shout Brad.
Why are you shouting at me?
Yeah, you guys, I'm sure that most of you follow Brad, but if you're not following him, click on his name, give him a follow. It'll let you click the little notification to say, "Hey, I want to know when he goes live." It's a good time. It's a good stream. He's got good vibe. So I hear. What do you think, Brad? Do you agree with me on that? You got?
Yeah,
Brad
I've heard
guy?
the same about the guy. Yeah, he seems pretty cool. I don't know. He eats a lot of pizza though. It's gonna get to him pretty soon.
Yeah, and a few beers.
Yeah, it never hurts.
Okay, so I'm going to slowly rotate this up, and I'm assuming it's going to show me a Flex 68 on the
so make sure that
PFD. I'm just going to bring that up here just for kicks and giggles. It's a little bit buggy
Also,
in trying to move it, though. There it goes.
Make sure that you actually do enable auto thrust when you go to flex. Just always a good idea.
Say that. Say that again.
That when you do set your thrust levers to the flex detent, that you have everything up on the PFD, right? It should say your flex. It should say flex, plus 68.
Yep.
And your auto thrust should show blue on both the flight control unit, which is just below. That's the where you change the heading and speed, and it should also show blue on the PFD in the upper right corner.
Okay, so on the FCU, it should show.
Yeah, like I'm saying, once you're on the rollout, just to make sure that your power is properly set. So not at the moment. I'm just saying once you do set your power.
All right. Toronto Tower wants to know what the heck I'm doing. All right, let's see. That's released. I guess I should turn up the volume. No, we're fine. Okay, here we go. Your auto thrust isn't armed. Oh.
It doesn't need to be armed right now. Once you go to flex mode, it should automatically engage.
Oh, okay. Is that the same in the fly factor?
Yep. No need to arm it now.
Okay. I just a little rusty there. Cam Jelly, yeah, he says it'll automatically come on. Valentino, yeah, this is Brad M. Brad M. And Final says yes, arm the AT. That's interesting. But we're gonna not arm it. Here we go. Spool it up. There's one D10 I just heard. And there's Flex 65, alright. For Flex, SRS, climb, nav, keep it on the runway. Do you have runway follow contours on or off?
I have it on.
Yeah, me too. It bites me sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, it just bit me just now. It actually lifted me off the runway, the contour did. Okay, we're going to try to go gear up. Okay, we're still flexing. At one point, do you go out of the Flex 65 and go to the Climb D10?
You'll notice on the PFD in the upper left corner, below Flex 65, it'll say Lever Climb LVR CLB. It's going to flash in white. And at that point, typically around 1,500 feet or at your acceleration height, it will tell you to set climb thrust, and then you will.
Okay,
but
now it's saying lever climb, and then I go back, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
and then
thrust climb, right?
Yeah, thrust climb, that's the D10, and then keep in mind this could reduce your thrust. It also could increase it, so make sure you keep in mind the flight director, because, you know, bringing flaps in, this thing tends to pitch down quite a bit, obviously, and stuff, so keep an eye on that.
All right. I need to go direct to Tillum. So, direct Tillum. There we go. Let's see if we can do another outside shot. Okay, we're now in thrust climb. It's 4,200.
Yeah, Tim wants to know in regards to, did you bring the flaps in? Looks like you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so pretty much I bring them in on schedule, but I mean, I bring them on after thrust climb typically. At flaps 1 departure, you just have the slats out. That's what the 1 position is. So I wait till I get actually pretty close to the 220 mark, which is, I believe, the speed limit. I'll throw them in at that point. But I mean, as per specific SOP and stuff, yeah. I'm not too well versed.
Yeah, me either. Although I do have a John Fly SOP on occasion where I forget to even retract the flaps.
Yeah, that can happen.
All right, through 8,000. All right, you noticed quickly that my flaps were up. Were you looking at the screen?
Oh no, I am looking at your screen, but I did notice that Tim mentioned that. So, okay. Yeah, I'm still about 10 seconds behind, give or take a few. But I mean, I can vocally picture it all in my head if you need like immediate assistance, right?
Good recall to be able to do that. I'm, by the way, 48 frames right now on the outside.
This thing is just absolutely spectacular. Once you get out of this heavy area, the frames in this thing are second to none. It is like night and day from the Flight Factor A320.
Oh, you want to know a quick way to know what version of the ToLiss you're running?
Let's hear it.
Look at the tail of the plane.
That's funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm surprised I didn't put the build number on there.
You just noticed that I was barely above stall speed? Really? I thought we were okay. Did we almost stall it?
This thing actually has stall protections built in, so you physically really can't stall it with the protections on, which they are by default. So yeah, you're fine for now. I mean, you're cruising, looking pretty good. I'm still on the outside view on my screen at least, but
yeah, I'm still looking at the orthoasm. 1.2. Yeah, I'm running 1.2.2. All right, we got 300 indicated. Wow, 300 indicated in the climb. Does the 320 not climb that well?
320 uses the same engines that we're rocking right now, the CFMs.
But it's a little bit bigger plane?
A little bit bigger, more weights, more fuel, that sort of stuff. This aircraft with the $6 IAE pack, I did mention last night that it does have performance differences that actually do show in the sim. And that thing is like a rocket.
So it does. So it's not just a sound pack then. It actually changes your performance.
Engine performance, the sounds, and also they say the flight management guidance system predictions. So it's fun to have because a lot of European carriers use those. United pretty much strictly uses those.
All right, we're at 15.4, still climbing. Okay, our climb vertical speed dropped slightly there, but we are going up to... Oh, that was probably a SID restriction. Yep, it was. Okay. Well, actually, I don't know. It's interesting how on the McDo, it's actually adjusting the altitude dynamically. That's interesting. But I am still... I
should also have you note the ground spoilers can now be disarmed since we're obviously up in the air.
Okay, ground spoilers disarmed. The ToLiss adjusts speed based on the winds. Okay. Well, I've got a headwind right now of 59 knots headwind. That's not good.
Something I've noticed as well, and I've talked to Active Sky about this before. A lot of you guys in the chat right now probably own, the Flight Factor or the ToLiss, and you probably are familiar with inputting the wind data for your flight. With Active Sky in use, that's not possible at this time. They have to wait for developers to utilize their API to make that happen. And of course, when you input those winds, it can affect your top of climb, top of descent, and fuel used, time en route, stuff like that. Just a little heads up.
All right, anti-ice detected. Oh, all right. So
icing detected. Interesting.
Yeah. So should I do? Let's see. Wing, engine 2. Oh,
yeah. I think just the engines will be fine for now. Wing is kind of a not an all-out cry for help. But I mean, wing is not a last resort either. I'm not sure how to reference it, but typically it's just the engine. This aircraft is unique, and it does have the icing detection system, so you don't need to put the anti-ice on until it tells you to.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds contradictory to like a 737 when you're pretty much just, you put it on when you're below 10, otherwise Prozac yells at you. But
yeah,
so you're fine with that on for now.
Standard pressure is now set. I find it interesting that it's actually simulating some ice without any sort of visible precip or clouds.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I've only had it happen once before, and that was in really bad conditions, so that's interesting to know.
But I guess
there could be your probe heat... Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I was wondering about the probe heat.
I was just saying, your probe heat's auto, so that's okay. Pretty much the lights out philosophy in Airbus stays true, and
except for
the lights
anti-ice.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, of course, you would not want to leave on because that does reduce engine performance and fuel consumption. Crashadistal did mention the VR flying with the ToLiss, or being the selling point for the aircraft. I've flown this aircraft in VR, and it is super, super fun. It's awesome.
You have the Rift, right?
Yes.
I was so tempted. It was going for 329 a few weeks ago. But I can't stream that, right? And I'll admit, most 80% of the time I'm actually flying the plane. I'm streaming.
Yeah.
Normally, a streamer, folks, goes and flies a plane on their own to kind of learn it, so they don't look like such a pleb. But I just throw the plane in and go without even ever flying it before. I did that with this.
Yeah. Well, it is fun learning live on here because it's not like you have to wait for a response. I mean, it's seconds at most.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that we have multiple pilots from all different ratings. I've had MD-80 pilots, A320s, ERJs, 757s, right? So it's very unique, and you can learn anything you want. So it's pretty cool.
So hold on a second. Phenomenal says Active Sky for X-Plane is a joke. Phenomenal. There's an emote for that answer. There is an emote, and Dogo just rocked it, baby. Look at those layers,
Yeah,
Brad.
I'm gonna strongly disagree.
Yeah, me too. Look at the layers up here. That is so amazing right now.
People have the misconception that it's going to change their life and that this is the same thing they see in P3D. It's just a weather engine.
It's not
that
graphics.
Happens to inject, it happens to inject more clouds because it detects those.
Yeah,
and people think that this is supposed to be the next best thing.
Yeah. Look at that, though. Look at that ahead of me. I think I have 4 layers right now of clouds.
We were talking last night in Discord. The X-Enviro 1.10 stuff does look very, very promising, though, and very cool. They have volumetric lighting, snow accumulations, 3D clouds. It's really cool.
Yes, this is SkyMax and Active Sky together, and it's not a money grab. No. It's called developing for our benefit, and it's actually, I'm sorry, but they also have to pay their rent and buy food. And bless them for their efforts.
Yeah, I honestly cannot see how it's possibly a money grab. It does what they say it does and nothing else. It's not like they promise things that we have not received.
And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with them with trying to make a buck. It's capitalism, baby.
Exactly. X-Enviro, I'm sorry, not X-Enviro. Active Sky has been in development for P3D platform for, I think, over 6 years.
Yep, 6 years.
And they're just getting into X-Plane, and people are like, this is the worst thing ever. It's so expensive. It's this, it's that.
But then there's other people that are just like, this is amazing. Like me.
Yeah.
I mean, I use it every flight, guys. I use Active Sky for X-Plane with every flight. It's being complemented by SkyMax Pro, and I'm loving it. I am really loving it. That's business, right? Yeah, exactly.
So I think we're looking pretty good so far, right? We have over to 18,000 feet. I mean, everything is
1 second, Brad. Just 1 second.
Looking good news.
1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Say we're at. Let's continue. We're at 300.
Yeah, so we're looking pretty good, right? I mean, all the lights are off. I mean, signs, your discretion. You're over to standard altimeter. We're looking pretty good for now.
Let's take a look here. What do I go to for top of descent? Do I do that under progress?
Yeah, you can look at, well, if you haven't actually hit the cruise phase, I don't think it's going to show you top of descent, but you can just look on your navigation display.
Yeah, so here, yeah, we're at 310. We're actually going to 360 because this is basically a long haul for John Fly. 400 plus miles is a long haul for me. Yeah, that was right, girl. There, she was checking in.
Got to make sure you have enough coffee.
Oh man, speaking of that, that should be on the checklist. I want to take another sip of my donut shop Keurig stuff with French vanilla creamer.
Ooh,
just a touch.
Any good New Year's plans?
None.
That sounds pretty good though. Sometimes, right?
Yeah. I am. Well, I do think that I may venture out to get a haircut today, and I might go I might go purchase a bottle of High West whiskey for tonight.
Yes. I tell you what, that was an excellent. When I saw it, I was like, you want to know what? I gotta just have to have this, and I bought it. It's amazing. It's great.
Yeah,
it's super affordable. I couldn't.
Well, they've got their regular line of stuff, and it is a little more expensive than say your Jack or your Jim, but it's and there's a little bit higher version that I'm thinking about splurging on for New Year's, and it's called Campfire. But it is a little bit more. It's like 66. But then again, Utah puts on a significant tax onto their liquor, so it might be cheaper in your state.
I just saw Utah also raising the minimum BAC or the maximum BAC to 0.05 now, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's 0.05 for DUI. Yep. And then in this world where we have Uber and Lyft, there's no excuse to.
Yeah, and I think they mentioned in the article that, Utah was the first to go to .08, so I wouldn't be surprised if .05 goes nationwide.
And I think in Europe it's .05. Okay, look at that, guys. Look at the sun. Look at the clouds. Yes. Yeah, High West. It's from Utah, JT Kerr. It's from Park City, Utah, the skiing land. Oh, look at that beautiful layer. It probably even looks good on the mobile.
Absolutely does.
You like your coffee strong and black? DiGiorno? Yeah. I just have a touch of French vanilla creamer in mine. The rest of the states should lower their BAs. Norway's 0.2 or 0.02? 0.2 or 0.02? I think
a small difference there. Nothing to be alarmed about.
All right, we're making the turn at Go Pup, so we're almost to Cruise. You think I should get a haircut like Flyboy? Nah, his is pretty. He's got the reverse. Well, no, he's got the NASA mohawk going on. Colorado is going full alcohol sales on January 1. What does that mean? You have to work tonight, Scotty? Stay safe out there, my friend. It's going to be a crazy night, I have a feeling. And anyone that's watching the stream that is participating in the adult beverages, please do not drive. Thank you. Oh, no more 3.2? Utah will... Utah's only 3.2. So you're saying the grocery stores were 3.2 in Colorado also? Oh, I thought that was only Utah. Now we went right from Airbus right into liquor.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not even funny. In fact, you get a 1-minute timeout, I think. How do I do a 1-minute timeout on Tim? Purge. I can do a purge. Yeah, not even funny, actually. I will say this also. I think that texting and driving is almost as equally dangerous. Smartphone usage, not just texting, just smartphone use in general, can be as equally dangerous.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I think the state laws vary so much. It's like, where can you do it, where can you not?
Oh, someone else gave him a hot 600. I applaud that. Thank you. Yeah. Do you have your SkyMax and ASXP settings posted anywhere? No, I don't, but I don't really change much from the default. It seems like the only thing that I changed in SkyMax was under Real Weather Connector. I changed it to FS Global Real Weather / External Injector. I used to think that was FSGRW only, but if you look at the / External Injector, then that's what I have it to. Now, I will say that I thought it was working just fine under automatic, but right now it's on that external option. And then it also has never change visible weather. But as far as the aesthetics, I think the only thing I did is I turned off the God rays, because I didn't want the God rays in the cockpit. It didn't seem, I don't know, I just didn't want them. All right, MD81, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for joining. XC5 crew chief, do you think we could get a spot at Topgolf tonight? Do you think we could get a spot?
Oh man, I love Topgolf. That's so much fun.
All right, well then if the expo comes back to Vegas, there is going to be a Brad and John Fly Topgolf night. Maybe on Thursday. I can convince you to co-sponsor a Topgolf event with me.
That'd be awesome.
For 5 people probably will show up. That like the Mag Night.
Well, it gives us better grades of winning. Better odds of winning on that.
Exactly. No, wouldn't that be cool if Flight Simulation took over an entire, floor, an entire level?
I was always one to advocate. Well, for Topgolf, that'd be pretty cool. I was just referencing the expo in general. I went to visit the Udvar-Hazy Smithsonian Air and Space that is located like on the same property as Washington Dulles, and it's just this amazing, massive, huge, thousands of square feet of the Concorde, the SR-71. I think it's this. I forgot which shuttle they have there. They have just everything from new to old, and they have a huge, massive banquet hall. And I figured Dulles is a great international connecting airport. It's a great local airport, for people nearby.
Yeah,
would have been a great spot.
Yeah, and in my mind, they should alternate, right? West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind it going, San Diego, San Francisco, Salt Lake, Vegas, Denver, and then, Orlando, New York, Washington, Philadelphia, whatever. And maybe even throw in Atlanta or something. Yeah. New York would be cool. Wright Patterson? Yeah, Wright Patterson's in Dayton, Ohio. Now, I'm missing a little bit of the chat here. Oh, quick question. So it doesn't have my T of D up here.
Interesting. How far are you zoomed out?
No, on the FMC. I'm used to seeing a T/D and then a mileage.
Do you have in the perf page, right?
In perf, yeah.
You're at cruise at this point now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. You've gone to the next page over, right? Where it says descent. It should say 2 top of descent and then a number.
Let's see. There's cruise, and it says 2 top of descent, and it doesn't have any distance. Oh, discontinuities. Okay.
Yeah, if you do have discontinuities, they will affect that, but I don't know if you checked for those already.
Yep. Okay, discontinuities. Thank you, Tim. Tim's not under Hot 600 anymore, apparently. All right, now under perf. All right, top of descent, 228. Perfect. Oh, and then this is probably detachable. Yeah. I'm happy about that. All right, anything I should do in the cruise here? Turn off the seatbelt sign?
Sure. You got to get up, stretch the legs a bit. I think something I do is I like to keep the fuel prediction page on the second hand, like on the FO side FMC, just so I know that I'll, what my fuel will be upon landing, basically.
So on the, where do you put that? Where are you?
On the right.
FMC? Oh, they're independent.
FMC, the first off. Yeah.
Ah. All right. So to do that, we go to fuel pred. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. I just leave it open just so I know if I'm going to be way over or way under, a typical recommended fuel weight, which I believe is somewhere around 2,000 kilos.
Okay, that's a good tip. Sometimes in some planes those aren't independent. But yeah, crash a distal, isn't that nice? Yeah.
By the way, you can take the flight control page off of that.
And go to maybe.
Yeah, so it goes back to the cruise page.
Shall we do? We can take a look at the engine. Yeah, there we go. Or we can take a look at bleed, pressure, electrics, hydraulics, fuel.
There's actually a way to cycle. I believe if you hold down the all button for a couple seconds, it actually cycles through each page every couple seconds. It's very fast, so you can't actually read it, but I'm not sure if they have that modeled in this one.
I just hit all, but I didn't hold it down maybe long enough because it's not cycling yet. But Grau Adler's here. How you doing? Are you safely? I think you're safely back home. I want to fly the Grau Adler livery, the new livery. I want to hold down all 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Oh, it is pretty. Wait, it stopped. I don't know if it's automatically scrolling now or what. By the way, Nurgle, I didn't know you were near Wright Patterson. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I used to go to Dayton, Ohio for ham radio convention. It is cycling through them if you hold it down. Oh, but it doesn't cycle through them automatically.
Oh, okay. Maybe I haven't done that since I got the Flight Factor way back when it first came out, so I don't recall that. But it's just a neat, quick
It's
little reference thing to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, if someone made a script where you could pull up John Fly's stream up on the screen, there you go. Well, I am for those that live under a rock. You can watch the John Fly stream inside Short Final Designs Cutter FBO at Albuquerque. Short Final Designs Albuquerque. If you go into the Cutter FBO, they're under contract to show nothing but the John Fly stream. So if you guys have that Payware Airport, I highly recommend that you sit down and watch that. I'm in an Airbus actually on right now at the Cutter FBO. Hold on, I got a phone call. Stand by. You're live. You're live. Yeah, you're live. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I usually go till afternoon. Sweet, man. You're welcome to come over right now during the stream. Even fly the plane. Okay, man. Talk to you soon. I'll let you know when I'm done. Bye. That's my buddy. Little intimidated to get on camera and fly a plane. Yeah, yeah, Hamvention is pretty cool. Yeah. Brad, do you have any friends that are local that are also into the simming a little bit?
I've had a couple, but nothing really that ever turned into anything like we do here, basically.
Isn't this amazing how we can all come together regardless of where we are on the planet?
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. I mean, I always thought it was just YouTube videos and stuff like that, but this is just a whole other separate world from.
It's just so beautiful. I love it. I really am happy that I found your stream one day, and thank you for being a part of the GSA.
Well, thank you for the invitation. Yeah, I still recall that day. It was you guys came in and gave me a hard time in a big bombarding over in San Diego Airport.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but being in the GSA is awesome. I really love it. So thank you once again, John.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I like all of us sharing in this wonderful hobby, and you know what, you should come on again. Maybe come on 2 or 3 times in 2019 onto my stream if you don't mind, because I think sometimes the streams there's a value add in having some guests on, and I enjoy it when I go to other streams and people are talking to other people, and there's just good information to be had.
If I'm around, definitely, whenever, yeah, just give me a heads up. I really miss, I forgot what his name was now. I think he changed it. He's in the GSA, but he used to do the podcasts live. And I recall you being on there. Was it, I think it's
Three Green Gaming. Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, he hasn't streamed for a long time. He was doing some iRacing for a little while. Haven't seen a stream period for a while. JT is his name. He's a good guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, in fact, I was probably the last episode of the podcast, I think.
That's the one I saw, yeah, but it was still pretty neat. I think there's a lot of value in a flight sim podcast that would take place on Twitch. I'm curious the logistics of how he got you onto there like that. Was it just like a Skype thing?
Yes. It was a Skype. I think he did like a 3 or 4-way call on Skype.
Yeah. That would be a great just Sunday morning coffee.
Yeah,
thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people in there and just sit around and talk about what's happened during the week. And you don't necessarily need to make a podcast. I would actually just do the Twitch and YouTube thing.
Yeah, like just a live talk show kind of deal.
Yeah. Puck would be an excellent host as well. I will back that up. In fact, Puck, I'm with you. You, Brad, and I'm down. I'm even okay with making this somewhat regular. I think that would be cool. By the way, do you have an iPhone, Brad?
I do.
Okay, you can now do group FaceTime. So
really? That's pretty cool.
We could even air server the video probably, The other thing that's the new technology is apparently Skype allows NDI, so you could capture just the video portion from Skype via NDI and go over to your OBS. There's a lot of different possibilities. The only thing with FaceTime is we'd have to try to protect one another's identities with regard to phone number, but if you associated it with, say, like an iTunes email address or something, that would probably be something.
Yeah, I mean, Skype would work. That sounds like the best situation of all, so we should definitely discuss this more. That sounds like a pretty fun idea.
And let's be honest, you have a great voice for radio, so
and a great face.
Yeah, great face for radio.
Great face for radio.
You have a great voice, so people would actually tune in to listen to you while in their car on Bluetooth. A lot of people do that, as you know, on their Sunday morning drive to church.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah. In this particular scenario, if you, Puck, and I did this on a somewhat regular basis, it would definitely be slanted toward X-Plane.
Only slightly, though.
We would touch on P3D, I think, on occasion. St. Wolfric, as a viewer, you vote absolutely yes, do this. I think it would be good. I think it really would be enjoyable. And I don't know why 3 Green Gaming stopped, because I think I enjoyed it. And they did cover, actually they probably were as equal to P3D as they were to X-Plane. Brad M on the air, 125.08 in the morning. With the Wawa.
Yes, live from the Wawa studios.
We'd have to come up with a clever name like Wawa in the morning. I don't have a Wawa though, so we can't do that.
I'll tell you what, if you go to Expo this year, there are Wawas in Florida that have made their way down there. Coffee is on me. I'll tell you that. It's going to be good.
I will take you up on that Wawa offer. In fact, if you are in Utah, the High West or the Squatters brewery is on me. So
that sounds amazing.
The entire brewery is on me.
Even better.
Whatever you can fit on the plane. You had Wawa out east, and yeah, I like Tim Hortons also. I don't know if it was because whatever you don't have, you tend to enjoy more. But Tim Hortons was good when I visited Canada for work the last 10 years.
Yeah, they're actually coming down here. I have one maybe like 30 minutes away from me. I've been there a couple times. It's not bad.
No. I see weather radar finally for the first time.
Isn't that neat in the Airbus to actually have some weather? Everyone's been griping for super long in the flight factor to have weather radar, and they actually have it here now. Even though it'd be default X-Plane stuff, it's still nice to have that.
Yeah. I wish that you could make this a little bit bigger, but for those of you who haven't tried this plane, you actually, once you detach this ND weather radar screen, you then use your scroll wheel on your mouse to resize it, but that's the maximum size that it will go. So I'm not sure how that would look on a 4K monitor, but I'm not sure if it's scaled this way or the same or not. But yeah, that's kind of nice. And I guess I could change the tilt right now if I wanted to as well.
I would tilt pretty much 1 to neutral now, since we're already up at cruise. There's no point in seeing what's going on. I don't think there's many systems above us, so just a kind of neutral tilt would do, and then I would leave it the same for descent, because you'll be pitching down.
You'd go 0 on the tilt?
Yeah, 0 to 1 is fine, because again, once you descend, you'll be pitching down, so no need to. I mean, you're going to start getting ground returns.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. You're now about 4 hours from Salt Lake, so I may make a trip out to the mountains. Oh, well, dinner is on me, Puck, and you're welcome into the John Fly pit. There are only about 5 people that have been in the John Fly pit that are from the Twitch community. You could be the 6th. I've had the fortune of having Marcus MMC in the pit. I've had Mermos. Some of you guys know Mermos.
Wow. Okay. Cool. How long ago was that?
That was a long time ago. Actually, Marcus has been over a couple of times, but Mermos and Marcus came over for dinner and drinkies one night, and we had a landing competition live on stream. Actually, And he's now, of course, flying 747s.
Yeah.
I've also had El Gargantuan came into the stream and flew the plane live. That was fun to having Garg. XC5 crew chief has also been in the pit.
Crew chief is a great guy. I love him. Always flying along with us on the group flights and stuff. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's my golfing buddy. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he and I play on. In fact, we just returned from a trip and we went down to Mesquite, Nevada, and played golf for 2 days. This was 3 weeks ago or something like that.
That is cool.
Yeah, he's a really good golfer.
Yeah, my golfing ability pretty much starts at a mini golf and then tops off over at Top Golf. That's about as far as I can really go.
As long as you have fun.
Yes, sir.
Have fun. Yeah. When would you like to fly the Grau livery? I'd like to fly the Grau livery. Let's see. Today is New Year's Eve. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Yeah, maybe Wednesday. But I want it now. I want to look at it now at my leisure. Because it's an exclusive, isn't it? It's not a publicly available livery, or is it? The Voice of Nebraska ATC, yeah. Yep. Which I have missed the Pilot Edge scope streams from Mr. Marcus. Okay, 154. See, this is a long haul, so I'm glad that you're here, Brad. Otherwise, I would be a little bit,
well,
bored.
If you want to override the speed and maybe try to, what's our predicted fuel upon arrival?
You could maybe help me translate that screen, actually. So if I go down to that other FMC, it's this is so what is it? Is this? Am I reading something here?
Yeah, the EFOB in the upper right corner should say
2.4.
Perfect. All right, it's plenty of fuel, so we can override the speed if we'd like to get there a bit faster if you're comfortable with it.
I normally wouldn't do that, but I would like to know how. So let's do it.
All right, pretty easy. Just go up to the flight control unit, which is the Boeing MCP equivalent for Airbus, and you're going to pull the speed, and it should give it to you in a Mach number, and just crank it up to, I think this thing will do 81.
Pull. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up to 81. My ground speed right now is 313 because of that headwind.
Yeah.
Which is 140 knots right on my nose.
Yep. There we go.
That's making this long haul painful.
I did this exact same flight off stream yesterday in the flight factor, I do believe, or in the Zebo maybe. And yeah, I had a really bad headwind, about the same.
Yeah. Nice cloud layer below. Let me do a nice 360 here with these clouds.
Yeah, I think 82 or 83 is the actual limit for the speed. I'm not sure, whatever it was.
Was it Phenomenal, the one who was ragging on the Active Sky for X plane? Is he still here? I just wanted you to know, we're nothing against you. It's just a difference of opinion. A complete difference of opinion. But
yes.
He suddenly went quiet, and I hope we weren't aggressive in our opinion offering.
Hey, maybe we changed his mind.
Maybe. There's the emote. By the way, Puck, you're welcome to come in here if you'd like on The Voice and banter with us. I think it would be that would be a glorious team right there. I will say that right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever noticed Aquafunkalista talking about the headwinds. If you never notice, I tend to fly with the winds as opposed to against. That's why my routes are mostly west to east and stuff like that, because I hate fighting the winds, It turns a 1 hour flight into an hour and a half.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times that I just go Kavik, but with this Active Sky and the SkyMax, I've been flying so much real world weather, it's fun. Especially in the winter for the sporty approaches.
Oh, yeah. I've been tinkering with the settings a bit. I'm trying to understand a bit more of them, and I'm curious about one setting that you have, and it's if you have depict global static something, I forgot what it's called. I think it's just global depiction mode or something in the active sky settings. I'm curious if you have that enabled or not.
Let's take a look. It's not a plugin. Hold on. Let me go over to my active sky. It's not going to show on the screen unless I bring it up, but under options?
Yeah, under options, yeah. I think the consensus is that it injects more accurate weather at the trade-off of, the clouds reloading more often. I'm not sure.
Simulator depiction options. Use global static depiction mode.
That's the one. Yeah. What's your setting for that?
It's off.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't really messed with either or, but basically it says that it gives you more accurate conditions if you have it.
To me, though, that changes the entire planet to whatever is local. Is that what it's doing? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand their wording. I think actually in their last update, they actually had to change a few wordings in the settings menu. But I was just curious of what you had.
Yeah, I haven't changed that, so I could play with it. Nurgle.
No, I wouldn't do that. It'll cause a reload of the sim, or sorry, not a sim, of the Active Sky program that could have issues if you do. So.
All right. Are you going to be around to take me through the descent?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Puck, Brad, and John. PB and J. Oh, there you go. PB and J.
Yeah.
In the morning. Whoa.
PB and J in the morning.
Or in the evening. Or in the midday. Depending on where you are in the globe.
I had a burger once that was
we're in the. Oh, here we go. Here's Puck. Puck's coming in. Puck inbound. His mic is muted, but he's here. He's hot. In fact, can I order these PB and J? No, I can't. I can't even order them in the voice room. How you doing, Puck?
Doing well.
You hesitated there for a moment.
That's not too convincing.
I mean, I'm a little tired, but it's all right. It's all right.
Did you partake of party spirit last night?
Not as much as tonight, probably, but just
a little drinky poo or two.
A little drinky poo or two, yeah.
Well, welcome in.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, PB and J in the morning.
PB and J,
PB
edition number 1.
We have to give St. Wulfric some credit if we actually adopt that.
That's funny.
I do like it though. Now you're hungry, St. Wulfric says. Yeah. So Puck, I'll ask Brad the same question. Give me your take on the ToLiss versus the Flight Factor.
Don't own the ToLiss. I've been looking at getting it, but I'm just like, I'm kind of in that point where I have too many planes. I don't fly them enough, so I'd have to do a lot more.
I definitely hesitated. I hesitated on this one for a long time, and I haven't completed the flight yet, so I'm not going to weigh in yet. But
yeah,
right. What do you think, Brad?
Well, I have I've been mentioning this like probably at least 30 times a stream, but I have this third-party texture pack, which I eagerly every day try to get, permission to give to others, because it turns this aircraft into what the Aerosoft looks like in P3D, and it is just a whole different experience purely because of the visuals. But I love flying it. I mean, very clear differences from the Flight Factor, good and bad, but I mean, it's definitely a regular rotation. I once said, why do I want a 319 if I have a 320? And then it went on a pretty steep sale, and I was like, I kind of have to get it at this point just to check it out, and I have not regretted it since.
What was the sale price on it at the time?
$49.
That's a steal.
That's what I
70.
No, I paid $59 for it, didn't I?
Yeah, Black Friday it was $49, which I was more than comfortable paying with. But $70, I was never even batting an eye at it.
Yeah, especially with the Flight Factor.
Young. It's matured a bit, and they're still updating it and stuff, just like the Magnite is. But I think it's got the core features I want. Not a whole lot that I am missing. I'm not trying to perform these crazy, authentic, holds and all. This actually does do holds, by the way. But I mean, yeah, it definitely fits the bill for me now.
When you say it does holds, are you stating that you can do a hold? Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes, you can.
That was
you
a
can
weird
actually
way
do
of forming that question, but there's not too many planes that can do a proper hold.
Yeah, this thing will do a proper entry and exit from a hold, and if you do it in the flight factor, it crashes because they're still working on the implementation for that. But in this, it's already built in, so people love that obviously because of course you get holds and stuff like that on VATSIM and whatever.
And can you do a hold in the flight factor?
No, it crashes the sim.
Okay,
If you
that's
try
what
to
I
do
thought.
that.
That's what I thought. And I think the Zibo doesn't do it either.
I haven't tried. I believe it does. I think I've held in that. I'm not sure, if it really works pretty good, but I've had to do holds in this thing before because of my own faults, and smooth sailing from either a position fix or just your current PPOS, which means your present position.
Yeah. Scotty says, I like the info in the ISCS, gives you flex. I like that it's in there, Scotty, but I would like it to be automatically filled when I hit the key. Is it the FSK key? Is that what it?
Oh, yeah. the soft keys there. Or
yeah,
the select
I would like to have my gross weight, my zero, my all those parameters automatically filled in.
I thought about
at least
that
have
for
the option to do that.
It doesn't do that like the flight factor. Then
no,
you have
correct.
to put that all in.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of.
I was thinking that we're kind of lucky in some way because if we're in P3D with GSX, I mean, it almost doubles your time on the ground having to configure and do all the weights and stuff like that because I'm pretty sure it's all manual with most of the PMDG stuff. The Zibo you can get up and going in like 5 seconds. Just click all the boxes and you're good.
I love the Zibo.
I do. It's my favorite plane. It's my number one. Tim Rodeo says the JAR, Zibo. The JAR Airbus does holds as well. Actually, Tim Rodeo, my JAR won't do holds. You want to know why? Because I can't activate it. The A330 is jacked. So it doesn't. My 330 doesn't do a hold. It doesn't even do a cold and dark.
Yeah, that was one of my regretful purchases. But again, I got that for cheaper than the ToLiss, but still, I don't think it's ever going to see the light of day.
Fresh installation of X-Plane 11, fresh installation of a brand new 330, Sassel blow up with no other plugins installed. So I was a little bit lazy. I didn't go through the whole support ticket process, which I maybe should have, but I was kind of hemming and hawing about doing the 330 to begin with, and I wanted it to be a smooth process. Now I heard that there are some updates that have happened since, but
yeah, they've been kind of incremental. It's just one big beta, basically, that they're still kind of picking at slowly but surely to answer Nick's question as well. But, I mean, nothing that's going to change your life, unfortunately.
But we don't have a 330 option, so it would be nice if it would activate if I ever got into the Airbus heavy mood.
Yeah, which, I mean, they have a 340 on the way, supposedly, which will be pretty cool. And I think, SSG, like mentioned the other day with the 748, John, with V2, I think they've kind of learned from their doing with the original version because they flat out asked in the forums, what do you guys want in V2? And so I think that, maybe JAR has the same mentality, like, okay, we know what we can improve on. And, those are two potential heavies that we're going to have that might be really great.
Yeah. I could already see PB and J, guys. I can already see it.
So we're already starting off.
Yeah. So question, it just came up with enter destination data. So
yes.
So I'm 88 out. Is that typically when you're waiting for that prompt, or?
Yeah, you can wait for the prompt. You can do it whenever you want, but I mean, I would reference whatever you have. In the case of Active Sky, basically, you know how to do this, right? With the enter the destination.
Well, I sometimes use ForeFlight, but yeah, let's go over to Active Sky. So Active Sky, which is not on my screen. I apologize, guys. I'll bring that back soon.
Ooh, wow.
If I go under conditions, KORD. Yeah, if you guys do a METAR, yeah, there you go.
Okay, John, yeah, you're in for a bit of an interesting treat.
What I do like about here is it actually will give me a optimal runways in where it did somewhere in there in my briefing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the briefing. If the winds are too neutral, it won't because there might not be a best option. But nice. So basically entering in this performance or entering this data in can affect your approach speed, your landing reference speed, and all that sort of stuff as well.
All right, so walk me through entering this. Where is this again in the FMC?
So performance page. Yep, you go performance. It's maybe 2 or 3 clicks over.
Use the arrow.
You use the
next phase.
That right lower select key on the McDo.
Yeah, it's not working.
His next phase, yeah.
2D
next phase should bring you.
Next phase is destination.
Yeah, it should be next phase. It should say APPR.
Yeah, APPR. So the temperature is 3? Is that right?
Yep, 3 Celsius.
3 Celsius.
I should maybe be doing this down on the 3D one as well, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so QNH is 2968. Oh wait, clear. So 29er.68. Winds are 030 at 9. Why were you guys saying this was sporty? Oh, because of the layer.
Yeah, the visibility, the rain, the overcast. It's gonna be interesting.
030 9.
Is it like that up there, mostly, Puck, in the morning, like with the lake and stuff?
Yeah, lake effect really gets it like that. It's a system that's rolling through. It rolled through yesterday here in North Dakota. I actually think we flew into that 2 days ago.
Oh, was that when you got the icing?
Yeah, when we were on descent, we picked up a little icing, 500-foot layer, and yeah, a little clear ice, kind of neat. Not really fun, but
oh, there's a destination METAR in the ToLiss menu system. That's interesting.
I did not know.
But mine's not showing anything, so I probably have to designate. That's interesting that mine's not showing. You don't have it. There's a strong cell just west of ORD. Okay. All right, so I've put in the winds, I've put in the temperature, put in the QNH. What else?
You're going to want to go ahead with the for this. I mean, this sounds like it's going to be maybe a bit of a interesting situation. I'd consider putting in decision height if you're flying the ILS.
I am going to fly the 10 center ILS. Oh, they switched. The winds switched. Never mind. Well, the real world are probably still landing 10 center, I bet, with that wind because it's 9 knots. So I will do ILS 10 center, vectors to final. And so my decision height on the chart is... And this is where I really should be showing this on the stream on occasion. Is it 200? SILS 10C. Is it the parentheses as the decision height, or is it the big number?
Yeah, it should say DH on the upper part of the approach chart above. Puck would know more specifically, but it's just to the right of minimum altitude.
What's
or
this?
glide slope altitude. He's trying to pinpoint the DH on the approach plate.
I think. Are you using Jeppesen charts?
I'm using the FAA charts.
FAA. So it would be.
I can bring up the Jeppesen, but.
No, I mean I'm more experienced in the FAA, but yeah, either one. It would be more so like if the DH for the ILS, it would be like 200 feet or 250
feet, that's
what
depending
it is.
On it's 200.
What category. Usually it'll be 200 feet.
So 200
like
DH. All right, landing config 3.
No, that's only if we're going to be doing a config 3 approach, which would be if you have very, very high winds, you're not going to put out full flaps, right? You've flown the Cessna enough to know that you don't go full sometimes if you're getting the crazy wind.
Yeah.
There's a couple things we have to be aware of, though, on the approach. One, we have our speed overridden, so we should go back over to manual mode and make sure that we don't pass our top of descent point.
All right,
and also consider...
So I'm going to push the speed back into managed mode.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far we out or how far out we
60,
are.
50 something out.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So per 56 out, yeah.
And yeah, B2 brings up a good point. We aren't going around, which is my next question. Since it's overcast at 500 feet, we're going to be. Are you taking off the AP? Or are you going to attempt to auto land?
I'm gonna take off the once I have visibility under 3 miles. I'll take it off.
Okay, and just so you know, if you're going to be doing it manually, there is a different. It's not just the traditional servos toggle key that there is in most.
Uh-oh.
You might have to do it manually.
As far as disconnecting the auto.
Yeah,
I don't just hit
if you have
the
a button in your
AP1.
joystick. Well, you could, but I'm just saying if you use a button in your joystick, there's a specific ToLiss set of controls that you have to do to disconnect the AP.
Okay.
If you're using a button.
Scotty P says set my altitude for descent. I thought you didn't do that in an Airbus.
No, you do. So
You do.
when we're about 20 miles out, whenever you want, really, I descend about maybe 5 to 10 prior to the top of descent point. You're going to set our altitude, in this case, for the glide slope.
Okay, I've set it for 9,000 for now.
And then, of course, once we cross top of descent, you would push the altitude knob in.
Okay.
John, if you set the glide slope intercept altitude, and you just hit that, it will manage the aircraft all the way down to the glide slope. And
So
then
I can push it in now then.
You're still pretty far out.
Yeah,
48
could.
out.
It would just.
Yeah, I would wait until you're about maybe 5 to 10, just
All
so
right,
you don't.
I'll do it
end
at
up going-
5, and then once I go push it in, it's going to manage me all the way down to 9,000 feet.
Correct, but the only caveat is, and I'll keep an eye out for it, you want to activate the approach phase or the deceleration phase of the approach, which is indicated by a white or magenta D with a circle around it on the navigation display. This pretty much tells the aircraft to get slowing down for the approach. Otherwise, you may be doing 220, 240 all the way in.
Okay.
So
I do have a discontinuity here. So I'm not sure if I picked the ILS for the approach on the McDo.
You did, John. If you see that ray, that's your glide slope intercept. So 2,300 feet is your glide slope
is
intercept.
way down. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
So then you set that on the MCP, and then all you do is just hit it, and it'll manage it all the way down.
All right. So I'm going to do that now. 2,300. This scrolling through these speeds is pretty easy. How do you get the decimals, or how do you go to the hundreds?
If you there's two manipulators, there's the one that goes up and down. And
crap! I accidentally hit it early.
That's all right. That's all right. Wait, it's all right. Just look to the right of it. The vertical speed. Do you see the vertical speed knob?
Yeah.
Just push that in to level off. You'll be all right.
Okay, I'm gonna level off. Perfect. Okay. Hey, dang it! I wanted to do this by the book. Oh well. Yeah, Puck Vanek is here. Yeah, Puck and Brad. All right, so I'm going to do a straight-on view here. You say there's two manipulators. One is for the 1,000, and one is for. Okay, so it's the. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's that arcing arrow. That's how you change between 100 and 1,000.
That's kind of a pain. I wish it would just go. Well, I guess it's kind of nice in some scenarios. So 2,300. Vertical speed is 0.
So my question for you, since you did activate and engage in open descent, does top of descent still display on your navigation display or no?
That's the question. And the other question I have is, will that D be on the ND to tell me when to approach or activate the approach phase?
Well, no worries if not. That's just kind of like a self-aware thing. Like if you're on the downwind, you're on the approach, you can go and activate it right then and there.
Yeah.
I prefer to get configured nice and early to avoid any issues on the way in. But
yeah. All right. I want to make sure that I'm at. Okay, so it does still have a T/D in there. Should I try to go back into managed mode on the?
No, I wouldn't until you get to the TD.
Okay.
Because otherwise you'll be descending again now. So just wait until you get close to it, about 5 to 10. Then you can push it in, and you should see the dot appear next to your number of 2,300.
perf page. Oh, where's my TFD again? Oh, it's in descent. Okay. Oh, I need to clear this. Okay. How do I go back? I don't want to activate the approach phase yet, but I want to go back to the previous screen.
Yeah, there really is no. You're locked out at that point
Ah.
of it.
All right. Well, up on the waypoint menu here, it looks like 28.
At least I believe you're locked.
Is that 28 out? Yeah. So it's activated, no longer in cruise. Okay. You could enter a new cruise altitude program page. Yeah, I could do that. That makes sense. We're 27 out. I'll just watch this screen for a bit. Fun, fun, fun.
I'm not trying to get you to drink from a fire hose here. I'm just trying to give you the full
yeah.
the full picture.
Yeah. And I will teach you how to fly a gyrocopter anytime, Brad.
Hey, you know what? I do need some help with my my cat ratings coming up, so I may have to solicit your services.
There you go.
Brad, you're gonna do cat ratings?
Well, before I get on PE, I'd be a fool if not.
There you go.
I think the cat ratings on stream would be wonderful.
it will force Brad to fly GA again.
Well, and the cat ratings, well, they'll get him used to the radio vernacular and term,
Right.
the nerves. I mean,
I'm pretty good with the vernaculars.
Well, not when there's a controller that's talking to you.
No, I mean, I've been fine. I know this is no comparison per se, but I mean, on VATSIM, it's always been smooth.
Okay,
moves,
yeah,
of course,
you-
on PE,
you
the
get-
standards
yeah.
are higher.
Yeah, you've got the VATSIM background, so you're going to be fine.
He's also got the voice.
Yeah, he does have the voice. Mermos is here, speaking of the devil. Hello, Mermos. He's one of the VIPs. So the cat ratings on stream would be excellent, and I think the first few don't even talk to a controller.
That is, wow, that's good news.
Yeah. Am I right in that, guys, out there in the chat world?
Just don't go into their airspace, Brad.
Yeah, that's the only thing I worry about. In a jet, you're like, you got to be in the airspace, but you're walking that fine line
Yeah.
in a Cessna.
Yeah. The
That
Cat 1
seasoner.
Dogo, right?
Because there's no such thing as getting an email from Keith. Keith will physically come to my house.
He's
on
not
my
that
door.
far away, is he? Yeah, he's in
I'm
NJ.
in big trouble.
Yeah. Torbinator's here. Hey, Torb. So I am 15 out. I'm gonna press the button. I'm gonna push it, right? When I get with 5 out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you should see the circle appear next to it, indicating that you're in managed descent, which is the same equivalency as VNAV.
Thank you.
Ooh, wow.
Add it 777. Happy New Year to you. So Cat 2 is landing in a class Delta, so that's the first ATC. Okay. You'll love it. Yeah. In fact, after the cat ratings, you need to do the I ratings.
Yeah, that's true.
And what did Max give you? Did he give you a month of Western US and ZLA?
It gave me 2 months. So
2 months.
that would be, how much is that? I think he said 2 months.
$70.
Yeah, 2 months.
Oh. Well, if you pass all your cat ratings and your I ratings on stream, I'll give you your 3rd month.
Oh God, it's gonna keep on coming.
But you may not. It may be something that you just only want to do from time to time, because you'll find that you'll have a little bit less interaction with your stream sometimes when you're on.
Yeah,
Power
which is
Edge.
what I don't necessarily like about.
Yeah,
the whole aspect
I
of
think
it.
I think your FS Cloud group flying really is attractive, and you do interact with your stream. Both you and Puck interact very well with your streams, but at the same time, people understand that, and some people in chat will even say to other people who keep asking questions while you're in the middle of a Cat 3 approach, "Hey, he's doing the approach right now. He'll get back to you soon. Trust me."
Yeah.
So, all right, we're 5 out. I'm gonna engage. So, push. Oh, I pulled.
Yep.
Dang it! How do I push? There we go. if people weren't seeing what we were doing, and they sure heard the talk that we do. All right, so now the circle is there on the 2300. Circles on Mach and heading. So this should automatically start the descent in 3 miles.
Yeah, it should be descending. Pretty much now. I mean, it's slowly but surely, and that's not going to be an aggressive descent because we're still a bit of ways out. But I mean, it should be momentarily.
Do you trust the VNav on this plane?
100%.
How would you compare it to the Flight Factor VNav?
Just the same. They'll both follow all the restrictions and paths that you give it. The only caveat is that some people don't understand is that once you pass your last waypoint, let's say you hit the initial approach fix, right? And then the glide slope is at the final approach fix, for example. You're going to have to actually pull the altitude to get down that last 1,000 feet. And some people say, well, my plane's not going down. It's not following it. It's because that vertical guidance will end at, such and such a waypoint. So you have to be on the ball, which is why sometimes I think Chile has gotten himself in a higher altitude situation, because you do have to pull the heading before meeting your glide slope altitude in some cases.
Pull the heading or the altitude? You mean the altitude, yeah.
Oh, sorry, the altitude. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. Which brings you to an open descent, which is pretty much a flight change of sorts.
Yeah. Okay, we're doing the descent now. We're at flight level 300. I'm going to go ahead and put the seatbelt signs back on. I'm so cool. Now, is this a point where I need to do that cabin call? Or is that later?
No, cabin call will be your pre-arrival checklist. You'll see before landing, you're going to get the same memo you got, well, almost the same memo that you got before departure. So that'll happen probably about maybe, 10 miles out from the field or so, which will tell you to do, your flaps, your signs, your cabin check.
Okay. Dogo says, do the PE cat rating and then do an FS Cloud flight for your second one. That's
there you go.
Yeah, on occasion, yeah. Ooh, she's pitching down.
And of course, John, the magenta donut to the left of your altitude indicates your vertical deviation, high or low, from your path.
Oh, the circle donut. Okay, the magenta donut. Yeah. All right. Don't I still need the cat ratings? I guess I could do the cat ratings. I'm a veteran though, so I passed the prior system completely before the cat ratings. They were the V ratings. And I don't want to jinx myself, but I went from all the V ratings and all of the I ratings up through 5. I've never failed. And I'm stopped though. I haven't done 6, I6 through 10. But I have I'm basically 100%, which is, now that I said that, I'm dead on the next one. Epic Nobody's here. Long time no see, Epic Nobody. I find it interesting how each one of us, we have a bunch of people that are very similar that come amongst our streams. But then there's a couple of people that I see that in both of your streams that I don't see anywhere else. So you guys have some core people that are it's like they'll drop everything and they'll come see you guys. I like that. You've built a relationship with some of these people, and I like it.
I think a lot of things on Twitch, it's either they like you or they like what you're doing. Sometimes both, but there is definitely each channel has their own cores.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And
but it is super.
Go ahead.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's super cool that we share a lot of the same people. So it's almost like we're always hanging out. You go live, then Puck goes live. It's pretty much like clock. Like John's the morning, Puck's the afternoon, I'm the evening, and we see the same people throughout the day. And it's just like, oh, we just saw you. It's fun.
Yeah.
Keeping that core together.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like it. We got to represent the USA because
there you go.
Yeah, those UK boys, man, they've got the big groups, and I scroll through the list on some of these UK boys, and I'm like, I don't recognize these people. I guess sometimes maybe if you're incontinent, you are likely to gravitate to an incontinent personality. Maybe, I don't know.
Yes.
And then
I mean, I have a few people from Europe and the UK that come and see, but
yeah.
more so it's everybody from the US or Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I do have some regulars in like the Dirts is my COO of Snack Air, and he's from the UK, so and Crash the Distil's from the UK as well, aren't you, Crash the Distil? Because I noticed you had an accent. So there is a lot of Europe represented in all of our streams. It was just interesting that I guess you scroll through some of the lists and it's interesting to see all the different cores. You're incontinent, B2. And B2 makes me laugh more than anyone.
My God. He
Yeah,
always
he's
has
just
something up his sleeve. You gotta watch that guy.
Yeah. All right. My donut is on profile. I'm going to switch to standard
Excellent.
pressure because it's sitting there just yelling at me. All right, I'm going to switch out of standard pressure, and I'm going to go 2971, which we changed quite a bit from Toronto. Yeah, we're 2971 on both sides now. Huh. Anything else I should be doing here? Could I set my auto brake ahead of time, or?
Yeah, you can do that whenever you want. I kind of just do it. I do lights on at 10K and then auto brake and arm the ground spoiler as well all at that time.
Okay, I'll wait to do that.
I do notice that your anti-ice is still on, which can be off until they give you another warning to do so.
I'd rather keep it on as I descend through this cloud layer.
No, that's what I'm.
But maybe
I'm just saying,
maybe I'll wait till it to tell me. But it's one less thing to do in this approach. But this could be in the real world not good to have anti-ice up at here where there's no visible moisture. So
yeah, just sucking up fuel and stuff. And
I'll turn it off.
I told you it's super weird to actually have the aircraft tell you to put on the anti-ice, and I'm skeptical because I feel like I'm going to crash at times when I'm flying through this, but it's the truth. You know that it'll tell you to turn it off basically.
While I look at this, should I activate the approach now? I don't see that.
No.
Not yet. Okay.
So you have a vector. You have a vector for final, right? Looks like
it's going Vulcan. Yeah, we're gonna go downwind now. Vulcan, we're at Vulcan at 13. We're going downwind to Bamb.
So once you go to Bambi, I would activate so before
I'm
you
go into heady mode
turn,
actually.
Well, yeah. Once you cross through Bambi, before you go to Ruta, once you cross over Bambi, I would activate the approach phase, which will allow you to start slowing down and getting your flaps out.
Okay. Cirrus Max, I know. Max, do you have the ToLiss? Does Max have the ToLiss? Yeah,
of course, Max. Yeah.
We've been talking about PE today, actually, on the PB&J show.
Yep.
PB&J show. PE. Yeah, we've been talking about his PE adventures and.
Brad, is that your New Year's resolution?
It is.
All right. Well, I'll join you because
it's even on my fridge. I wrote it down.
Max has donated towards me as well, so I guess I
did as well. I never got my month that I donated. If you remember.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I remember you were having your PayPal situation, which I had also.
But then it was the month after. I think it was okay. November.
I didn't see a lot of PE, I guess. I saw it maybe.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that you got some in.
Yes. I think I got maybe 4 or 5 streams of PE.
Okay. You do have the ToLiss Max? All right, cool. Yeah, it's so what's your opinion? Are you going to alternate? Is it going to be in the rotation max between the flight factor and the ToLiss? All right, I'm at 10.9. I'm going to go ahead and put on some lights. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. About 10K, put the landing lights out.
You can put the lights on really at any point, but
just
is the check.
Puck would know that better than
What other light should I put on here? Anything else?
No. I do the flaps on. I do the turn off lights on with the flaps. Just my preference.
And then I'm going to activate the approach phase here pretty soon. The other thing that we were going to do. Oh, at 10K, I'm also going to arm the auto brake medium. What else? Talk me through this.
I mean, you look pretty good. I mean, that's.
Can I activate the approach phase now?
So yeah, I'm saying once you'll end up getting really slow right now if you do it. So I'd say once you cross over Bambi or just before Bambi, you can activate it.
All right.
Once you start your turn towards the approach course, then I would say activate approach phase.
Does this recognize heading sync by chance?
Yes, it does.
All right. So if I want to go into heading mode right now, all I do is pull the heading mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should I do that?
Sure, if you want to.
Because the only reason is because I think on like a PE or whatever, I need to get ready for vector.
Yeah.
So, and we're 8 miles from BAM, so maybe I don't need to do it quite yet. Not quite yet. The pink D is where you activate the approach. I was wondering what that was. That was back there, and that's when I asked.
That's what I referenced. But so it is built into your approach automatically. But you could be pretty far out and get down like 180 knots when you're still 30 miles out. Which again, if it's per a star, you may need to be. But in this case, we're kind of just eyeballing it, right?
Okay.
So
I just activated it. It has actually. It's taking me down now, 85. And I am going to go on vectors. So to do this, I should pull the heading?
Correct.
It didn't work. Uh-oh. 2. Oh, it's stingy. 271. Okay, it's beeping at me now. All right. And then I'm at 8,000 feet. Now, is it going to continue down to the 2,300? It will, won't it?
Again, yeah, it will. But again, you may end up getting your altitude chopped off. You may have to end up pulling it if it ends up leveling off, which it can at certain parts of the approach. Like, before you hit the final approach fix, it may require you to do a manual open descent.
All right, I want to slow down now. So I pulled the speed, and it's set to 130, but the speed is not dropping. So
Airbuses are very, very slippery, so you got to put out some speed brakes.
Okay. How many? Half?
At this point, I'd probably go full now that you're getting kind of close to turning.
Okay, full.
And then once you get past like flaps 2, then you won't need any speed brakes. Like gear down flaps 2 and you should be totally fine.
Just for reference, with the autopilot on, the speed brakes won't ever go past half with autopilot on. So it's only going to stay half until you disable it.
You learn something new every day. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. All right, I'm continuing out. I don't want to quite vector. All right, should I hit the ILS light up on the?
Yeah. So for an ILS approach, you want the landing system LS next to the flight director to be on. That's going to be your cues for your glide slope and localizer. So I do that about 10K feet as well.
And then we can assume that the ILS frequency is all good.
Set.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes I like to verify that. You can do that in the. All right, I'm doing a self vector.
Tim says in the 319 they actually do go full. It's a difference.
Okay, that's what I thought. I knew the 320 was half, but I thought this one was full. I didn't know that they both were different.
Oh, the auto brake, or sorry, the spoilers. You're saying that they do go full on the 319?
Yeah.
In the sim or real world or both?
I guess real world and sim potentially.
Okay. This is a nice cloud draw here.
Oh yeah. Brad will have to ask
so
Tom
we're
about
getting
that.
pretty close to the green dot speed. I drop out flaps 1 since we're
flaps 1.
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, what should I set my speed to here? Probably like 150.
I think 170, 160 on the weigh-in's probably pretty good because flaps 2 is at 200 knots, and then anything below, I believe, 180 and 170 is flaps 3 and 4. So.
Okay. Puck is here, Torb. Puck Vanek and Brad AM. Yeah.
The first installment of PB&J.
Exactly, the first impromptu PBJ. You guys, even if you if you've never liked PB&J, you will now. All right, we do have some moisture. It's not telling me to put on anti-ice, but I'm tempted to. Can I go flaps 2 here? No, slats.
Yeah, you're below 200.
Okay,
you're below
flaps
200.
2.
You can bring them out.
Okay, thank you. Now, to arm the localizer, I can just hit loc, right?
Yes, you can.
It's not lighting up, though. Dang it. What's happening there?
You might not be close enough or on the right trajectory for it, potentially.
Dang it. I'm on a good trajectory for it. I'm on like a 30-degree intercept. Huh. But you're right, it's not lighting up below. I definitely should be seeing some movement with the Loke, because I'm only...
Are you
2,500?
I'm intercepting at Peepaw on the 10 center ILS for Chicago, and I'm literally...
You're pretty far out too.
2 miles from the... Actually, Peepaw's not that far out. It's 16 out.
also, John, may want to bring the speed brakes back in now since we're looking pretty good, so we don't have to have.
I'm going to arm them
those
as
can
well.
go to armed.
Yeah. And
you're 17 miles from the localizer. Yeah, you're pretty. I think you're still fine with the approach and everything.
But
did you activate approach?
But I did activate
the approach mode. If on the MCP you have to activate it. It's that far right button.
Oh, you do?
Because you just activated. Oh, maybe you didn't.
Nope. Wait. On the MCB, don't touch that. No, you're good. Don't touch that.
All right, the magenta's coming in. Do I hit Loke now? Or is it going to automatically do it?
Well, yeah. Well, sorry. If you have the glide slope, then you can hit approach. I'm not sure how far out you are. It's hard to see on the iPad.
So where's the... Okay, approach is on. All right.
Wait, so, okay.
It missed the localizer.
Here's how I've been taught. If you're doing a ILS or a RNAV approach with vertical path or vertical descent, you use approach mode. If you're doing a localizer approach or a RNAV without vertical guidance, I've always been told loc mode, blah blah blah, or approach mode in whatever the RNAV sense.
In the Boeings, I've always done loc first, and then I wait till my magenta hits the line, and then I hit approach.
That's the same thing I do in here, so I don't forget. Which again, like I guess you could, in theory, arm the approach. It won't still hit it until you get at the glide slope. So you could arm it, but I do the same thing with the Boeing, just so I don't.
But what I found interesting is the loc didn't light up when I hit the LOC button on the FCU. It did not light up, and it didn't intercept. It through it until I
I'm
hit
looking
the
at
approach
you now.
button.
It's green on the PFD, so we're good, right?
Yeah, we're good now, but it blew through it, and then we had to do a turn back left.
That's why I always say if you tune the ILS, you do approach. If you tune the localizer approach, you do a loc approach. That's just how I've been taught.
Okay.
It reduces what you have to do.
Mermoz is laughing at us.
Probably. That's all right.
Also, something I learned is if you're doing an RNAV approach in the Airbus, you do not use the landing system, and then you would just simply arm and activate the approach at your initial or final approach fix, and it'll give you the vertical guidance down there.
Here's the question: Do you arm the approach on the MCP, or do you just do it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hit the approach button. That gives you, and it'll say final app on the PFD in green.
So you're saying, Tim, the localizer 16 out? Normally, I've been able to pick up at 16 out.
The localizer you can pick up
20
really far out. It's just how far away from the course you are.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go gear down now. Is that okay?
Yeah, gear down, and then I do gear down in flaps 3, and then shortly after flaps 4, and you're well below the speed restriction for both, so you're good to drop them all.
Flaps coming in full.
Depending on your distance to the runway, which I'm not sure how far it is.
Cabin check now?
Yep, so the same button, the call button, just to clear up your UCAM. Nothing super crucial, but just a simism.
All right. Okay, we're coming up to Ray here in a bit. We're on profile. As soon as your DME hits 16, you have lateral deviation needle show up. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, John, push your speed.
Manage
so that it goes
now?
into managed mode. Yep.
Okay, manage speed mode. Thank you.
And then it'll just go back to your VRF speed.
Mantooth, good to see you. All right, so I am full flaps. This is awesome. you know, it's amazing to me that we have two mostly fully functional Airbus options. That two separate companies did something complete for the Airbus, you know. And I may be wrong in this regard, and I probably shouldn't be talking about this during this critical approach phase, but I really think that they decided to go A319 at the end just to differentiate themselves.
Yeah, I would love to see a 321 still, which I hope somebody decides, which I presume would be a ToLiss before a flight factor thing, but that would be very neat.
Would you like to see a 19 in the flight factor side of things?
Now that I already have this, I'm relatively content, but I mean, I'm sure I would buy
for free?
it, you know?
All right, John, you see your glide slope coming in now.
Yep, coming in. That's good. All right, so the flare is going to be a little bit different on this versus a Z-bow,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes. So pretty much the same thing as another Airbus. You leave the auto thrust in your climb detent until it calls out the thrust retard, which pretty much means just bring it back to idle. And then you can also do it earlier if you'd like. But again, I don't know if you noticed on the rotation that it feels like heavier. You have to move the controls a bit more.
Okay. And I changed that sensitivity also, so this could be completely different. You guys, you should be predicting well north of 280, please.
So yeah, you may have to move this a bit more than you'd typically like to, but once below 50 feet, the Airbus goes into what's called the flare law, which the fly-by-wire basically, deactivates, so to speak, and you're kind of no longer using that. So
I just got handed a quesadilla on short final, or no, not a quesadilla, a taco, a soft taco. That's awesome.
All right, Godspeed.
I missed a lot of what you just said.
Godspeed.
Yeah, well, just pull back the thrust levers and pull back the stick. You'll be good to go.
All right, so I'm just gonna hit the AP1 off.
Sure.
Yeah, we're 2 miles out, so I could hand fly this right now. AP off.
Yeah, it'll give you a good feel for the landing then.
Oh, I gotta take off that master warning, and then okay, so down here across the threshold, it's probably a lot of it's gonna come back to like just feel right. But you're saying once it says retard, then I'm the throttle all the way back.
Yeah, all the way back to idle, and then deploy reversers at your discretion.
Should landing inhibit be purple and lit up? I'm gonna pitch up.
It means that you're not going to get any weird messages on your ECAM unless it.
I really had to pull back a lot to get this to even change position. That's way different.
It's very stable, but that's what fly-by-wire is supposed to feel like, apparently.
Oh wow! Oh snack!
Because fly-by-wire manages pretty much everything for you.
Okay, I think. Yeah, I have to do a lot of movement. Wow. That's cool. It's going to take some...
Good, John.
100 above. I want to pitch up just a little bit here, though, to stay on that slope.
Minimums.
200. Okay. Oh, I am looking good, but I'm veering off a little bit, so I need to change that. Oh, outer... Is that inner marker?
Yep.
Yeah, just a marker. You can turn those off if you want. I hate them.
30. Retard.
Retard.
10. 5.
215. Oh, with maybe a bounce? We're going to find out on the replay.
Not bad. Not bad.
Okay, so reversers toggle coming in. Oh, wow. She's already slowing down. That auto brake was working really well on the max. Okay, reversers don't even need to be in anymore. And like second exit. That was that's the 71% control. Hey, Monkey Power, how you doing? All right, we're going to exit the runway here.
Yeah, that was a great landing, though. I mean, that was...
For my first,
pretty solid.
I'll celebrate it.
I mean, that was... Yeah. Just get the feel for I mean, I'm telling you, John, it's gonna play with your head, but if you go back to the flight factor now, it's going to feel so weird.
Well, the question I have, should I change the control sensitivity on the flight factor?
I'll send you a link to what Assert recommends it at, but it makes no difference, I found. But I'll send that to you after the stream.
Okay. All right, thank you guys for walking me through that. I so appreciate that. Let me do this. So landing lights retract, right? Runway turn off can come on. Strobe can come off. Okay. Does scroll wheel? No, scroll wheel doesn't work on here like it does in the flight factor. Beacon, taxi light on. Do you guys start up your APU sometimes?
Yeah, you can just hit the AP master switch, wait a second or two, and then start.
Who got the landing rate? Tarb 56?
Looks like, yeah.
Nice, Tarb. Let's add some snackage.
I must admit, the weather doesn't look as bad as it was saying in the METAR.
I wonder if it changed or if it's not depicting it correctly. Project Fly actually worked. I noticed that my gold subscription to Project Fly had expired, so I renewed that. I don't know if that changes the streamer tools or not, but start. All right, let's clean up. Then I can disarm the spoilers. I liked that. That was enjoyable. Let's go to the terminal. Let's debrief. What else would you guys do before taxi? Anything?
Not just flaps up, clean up, lights, you know.
Okay. All right, I need to start erasing the placebo effect, because sometimes new is new and it feels good, and then sometimes you forget what. So, because I'm trying to summarize what my thoughts are going to be for these two birds, the flight factor and the ToLiss, but I don't want the placebo effect to interfere. But I am grinning right now.
You know, it really is. People ask all the time, you know, like, what do you prefer? Which is better? And like, it's almost intangible to describe the differences, but I mean, they're really both enjoyable.
Oh. I'm going to give you my summary in just a bit. I think I'll exit up this way. Chicago. Why is it dripping? Yeah, the snow, it's blowing moisture, and X-Plane is not good at blowing water moisture on the runway surfaces. We actually got rid of, I think we changed a PNG file for snowdrift, and so I no longer have that. What did Chili call it last night? The voodoo. What is this X-Plane voodoo that's going on as he landed in Salt Lake last night? I got rid of the snowdrift, so it no longer drifts across the runway, because the guys here in chat, they got me to just replace the PNG file with a transparent one.
Yeah, I recall that. Yeah.
Well, slow down a little bit. You know, Prozac's not going to be happy with me flying Airbus too often.
It's funny. Like, I love Prozac. He's a funny guy. And again, like, it's the same thing. If you mention PE, Max shows up. You mention Southwest, Prozac shows up. It's just instinctual thing.
Yep. You mention wine, St. Wolfric shows up.
I might as well.
Yeah, PE. Max is a definite PE ambassador for sure. I'm a ToLiss aircraft. I can park anywhere I want to. Autogate coming in. This guy's. I'm not going to be able to see him when he crosses his hands though, unless I change my position. Oh, there we go. I'm a tall guy now. All right. I'm not going to just do a start down. I'm not going to do a proper shutdown until after we do a replay, if ever. I hardly ever do a shutdown, actually. Yeah, this is Nimbus. Yep. All right.
The shutdown's real simple. Just in case you're curious, I toss on the APU bleed, hit the engine switches that you hit to start them up, and you're done. That's the whole.
Okay, that's pretty simple.
Turnaround state. Yeah.
For the next guys to come in. All right, we'll let the ortho. By the way, the frames were just fine on that, and this was drawn a lot with weather and of course the height. You know, the ortho and the airport. Oh yeah, the case. It's a soft taco, but you're right, Bermos. It is getting.
You know,
low.
John, something I found interesting is that Prozac told us that only maybe 3 to 5 times a year he ever enters a cold and dark aircraft, and we do it every single time we boot up the sim. Isn't that kind of funny how that works?
Yeah. In fact, they probably forget a few of the things to do if they only do it. Do we? Oh, I forgot to end the project fly. Crap. Did we get to predict landing on John's face on the taco? The landing rate of John's face. Yeah, the feet per minute as I bite into this bad boy. You won, Nurgle, by the way. St. Wolfric is here. I said wine.
There he is.
So, I really do want to do the PB&J show, guys.
Yeah, I
That'd
would.
be fun.
I would love to. It sounds awesome. Get some coffee.
Yeah.
Sit down, chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if schedules will allow it, but I would like to have it at least bi-monthly, but if not weekly. But I mean, it can be can be a spontaneous thing, but at a minimum once a month.
Sure.
For sure.
But
I
I'm
mean,
open
if
to
it's on
weekly.
weekends.
I'm open to weekly if
Yeah.
if the schedules allow.
Yeah.
I think weekends work best for me for that.
Wow.
The
Well,
morning at
Sunday
least.
mornings. I mean,
Yeah.
just sit around and chat. But then
Sunday
the thing,
mornings would work really well.
yeah. But then we could also alternate it. So, for example, it'd be on Puck's stream on this particular time frame, and then or if it was Sunday morning, we just alternate the stream. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to maybe mess around with some video options, and we need to school ourselves on bringing up good audio or good video. The trick is how do I get you guys, if you guys, Brad uses a green screen, Puck, you don't. How do I get
I have
Brad
one,
to show
though.
up on a green screen, or either one of you when
I have
it's
the
on?
chroma key into the Logitech camera, so it should always be good with just the camera on.
Oh,
So if
you
we're
have
on
the chroma
Skype, it
key
should
not
still
in
be-
OBS then.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
have to
I
mess around with
can put my
You
green
don't have
screen
to.
on
I mean,
the
I don't
screen,
mind.
that's not
I
a
don't
big
mind you not being on a green screen, but sometimes it does look kind of cool.
deal. Just put up a PB&J background.
Oh yeah, big old huge peanut butter and jelly. Yep.
That'd be great.
Hermosa's never seen a cold and dark plane. Wow. Wow.
Must be nice, right, Brad?
Yeah, it must be nice. That's what I'm telling you. Isn't it funny though? Every single time we're always in cold and dark in the sim.
Yeah.
So, Brad, what you're saying is we are better pilots than some of the airline pilots.
Maybe that's why they watch us, right?
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Wow, my landing wasn't too bad at all. I was in the first 1,000 feet, I think.
Doesn't it just feel so much more solid though? Like when you flare and everything, it just feels. I'm not sure what the word is, but it just right.
These are the rumors that I've heard that this flight model is pretty dang good. Did I bounce? No, it didn't. It didn't come up off. I do need to end the project fly right now, though. There we go. All right, we'll do a runway view. Yes, it did. It did feel. It felt very different, though. There is going to be some scenarios, especially with say crosswinds, etc., where I'm going to need to realize that I need more input, for lack of a better word. IXEG does offer a turnaround state. Yeah. A lot of the planes do. I think you can actually do turnaround state in most, can't you?
Yeah, and this as well and stuff, but you know.
Aw, come on. I was going to go flying today, and it's low IFR, 1 knot or 1 statute mile blowing snow.
We can sim in that, but
I know.
Yeah, take it up with Active Sky. It'd actually be kind of fun
That would
See
be
that.
kind of neat.
in
See
the
how
in the Bonanza.
in the F-33, yeah.
the Bronanza.
Yeah.
Of course, now that we have our own, Sunday morning show, we have to have our own plane, and Puck was kind enough to provide transportation for the studio
Yes.
crew. So Thank you, Puck, in advance
Yeah.
for that.
Well, and technically,
Absolutely.
the PB&J Corp now owns a Bonanza.
yeah,
well,
that's
Yeah.
not too shabby.
Well,
Yeah. With a
Well,
with a
yeah, I
with
don't know
a
about that.
650. Yeah.
We're off to a
And
good start, boys.
and you guys now, you own my firstborn and my secondborn, and it's like a mutual arrangement here. My
Oh,
firstborn and
geez.
my firstborn's actually married, so you won't have too much of a hassle. So believe it or
Jeez.
not, I have 5 children.
Wow.
Wow. That was pretty cool. That was impressive. So I'll go out a replay here. I'll do what Brad told me to do, which is click on the APU bleed, and then just go turn my engines off. Right?
Yeah, as long as the APU is available, which it should be since you fired it up earlier, then you're good to go. That's the turnaround state.
Can you
I do
flip-
my...
Sorry,
What's
can you
that?
flip 1 and 2 at the same time off?
Yep, just click on 1 and
Okay.
2, and they'll be good to go.
Aren't we all your children? Yeah, sometimes. Addie Fadlin is here. How you doing?
Just for reference, Blue Sky Star is working on a pack for this aircraft with this engine variant that's supposed to enter beta in January. So that's pretty cool stuff. But the
So, and
sounds
that-
are not half bad already.
Is the Blue Sky Star Sound Pack going to offer those performance enhancements, or is it just sound only?
No, it's just going to be the sound, like the same thing for the Flight Factor A320. The same package they did for that will be brought over to
so I
this.
should probably consider the IAE add-on for this then.
Yeah, and they might do some sounds for that as well. I'm just not sure, but I think it's just fun. It's like $6, I think, for the IE pack,
Yeah.
and they're fun to use. So
Yeah.
great performance, especially during climb.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll definitely have to coordinate via Discord and kind of maybe plan our first, our second installment of PB&J.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. So who was it
Definitely
in here
fun.
that came up with that? Was it St. Wolfric?
I think it
was
was it. Yeah,
And then there was a lot of discussion about how we should do this. So I thank you guys for inspiring this. And yes, Padawan, to replace the snowdrift, you download the transparent PNG and replace it. Yep, exactly. That's what I did. And you do have a let's see, show texture browser now here. Look at this, and all I have to type in is drift. I think no snow, and then there's snow PNG right there.
Where the heck did you get that?
Isn't that cool? It's part of X-Plane.
Is that new?
I think it's a new part 11.3, I think. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh. And then you also have a show particle system browser. So you can change it's maybe how Toto gets rid of the heat blur on the TBM maybe.
yeah. It seems to be a bit more advanced than I would like it to be, but it's pretty cool.
No. Tylenol wants to know, what do we all think about the upcoming Falcon 50? Isn't that P3D only? That Falcon? I think it is.
I think one of us needs to take the plunge and get P3D, get all the add-ons and all that.
I
have 'em all.
would absolutely love
Nose
to.
goes. Nose goes.
Wait. What did you just say? You would
One of
love
us has to.
Brad?
Yeah, Puck. What did you say, Puck? Really?
said-
dude?
Yeah, Brad, I think you should do it.
Wait,
No,
hold on.
if I had the money to spend on it, John, I would absolutely use that because I love the 747, 800, the 777. That's pretty much, and the 787 as well. That's pretty much all I would use it for.
What?
But
I did not know this about your opinion of.
that's
Yeah.
just my look. No,
Done.
P3. Okay, there's a general overall P3D thing that I have, and believe me, it seems a lot more trouble than it's worth after watching many streams and many troubleshooting and hearing firsthand experiences that people have to reinstall their entire Windows to get P3D working. But the aircraft they have are second to none.
Tell me,
John, your face
I know.
is just picture perfect.
I know.
The face of
I know.
disappointment.
I was like, so I hate to even bring up this subject, but tell me, Brad, what is your base that you want? What is your if you had what, Orbex Global?
Oh man, yeah, it would have to look exactly like pretty much X-Plane. And I'd have
No,
to
it
have all
won't.
the
It
same
won't ever.
airports. No, I know, but I'd have to have the Orbix stuff, the payware airports, those like 3 or 4
Active
core big
Sky,
jets.
Rex.
Yeah, Active Sky. So yeah, if I just happen to stumble upon $1,500 one day while walking down the side of the road, I would
Well,
definitely do
no,
it.
but honestly, do you think that you could get it to a streamable scenario with $500? Do you think you could do that, or do you think you're going to seriously need 1,500?
No, I mean I could definitely do it. I mean
If you did the
that would get
developer version of P3D, you're going to go $10 a month, right?
okay. Yeah.
You can do the academic if you wanted to, if you qualify for that. But I say as a streamer, I would recommend that you do either the professional full license or the $10 a month, where you get upgrades unlimited. That way, if you don't do it every month, and you don't necessarily have to pay every month, you also avoid that $200 hit. But I'm thinking for $500, you probably could get your Orbex, your Active Skies, your Textures, your 747, a few other planes.
Yeah, that seems pretty. And then the rest,
a few
doable.
airports, and I can tell you right now that we could PB&J could have a dono goal for you with this if you wanted it. It's treachery that I'm even talking about this, but
I know it seems like sometimes like having to hear about people's stories with having to try to fix their sims. It seems like they're not flying as much as they would like to because they're trying to edit these files that I have no idea what they even do just because they installed a scenery and now their plane won't work. It baffles my mind sometimes.
If we lived in Europe, I think there's a law on the books that an individual who has bought software can legally sell their software to someone else.
Really? Wow.
What?
That's what I've heard. Now, people in the chat that are from Europe, is this true? Is this like an EU thing where if you bought the license for the software, you can sell that license to another individual? You no longer have the license and you've sold it and you have to give it to them. In the US, we can't do that because if we could, I would be half tempted to sell you, because I have everything for P3D. I bought everything. The only thing I don't have is the 800 of the 7.4.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
So
don't fly it ever?
I did. I used to be P3D 18%, and then it went to 6, and then it went to 1, and then it petered out.
yeah, I would just simply use it for things like longer flights in the 777 and stuff like that. That's really all. I just have that kind of category I haven't satisfied yet of even larger jets on longer flights.
I didn't
Nothing
even know
else
this was
besides
in
that's
you.
really all I need.
I think it's
Yeah,
possible
if
that
if
we
they
could.
existed.
I think it's possible that we could get this funded. I'm not kidding. And it. The thing is it will take away from your X plane, and the other thing too is you're gonna have to get chase plane, and you're gonna have to really be patient with the cam reviews because it's a whole different world. Let me read what Marmot says here. He said the reason about power up, if required, being a ground crew responsibilities that a lot of other people are involved in order to leave on time. Maintenance will be there and have done a pre-flight of their own, plus working on deferred items and making sure the plane is airworthy. Ground crew will be loading the plane well before we show up. Our own thing does not take that long. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let me sum up my feeling on the ToLiss, and then we'll talk about the next adventure. Do you guys have a moment still?
Sure.
Perfect. All right, so the ultimate question I've been asking myself for weeks, and I've asked other people, what do you prefer, the flight factor or the ToLiss? Okay. If you look at my top 30, if you type in exclamation top 30 in the chat, you'll get my list of top 25 GA and top 25 jet or tube. And the flight factor 320 is very high. There's so much behind the scenes going on in the flight factor 320 that's modeled that you don't really see. The fact that if I change the time of day, that it repositions the satellites in the sky and it messes with my navigation because I have moved the satellites in X-plane. That just gives you an example to the depth at which the flight factor has. Aesthetically, I think it's superior. But this is not bad. I mean, if you go on the outside, it looks great. If I go on the inside, this looks wonderful, right? But the flight factor just has, I don't know, what is it, Brad? What is it, Puck? Is it just, you've seen it. It's just a little bit different depth and feel and character. I don't know, but this is not bad inside, right? That landing, for me to do that for the first time, I'm impressed with the flight model of the ToLiss. And there's some people that say it's superior. I need to go back and forth before I weigh in on the flight model change. But Brad, you think the flight model is superior in this, or is it just different?
I think it's superior and different in a good way. And, people in my channel and my community that are real world pilots, like, Time to Jet, for example, says, this feels more like the real thing when compared to the flight factor.
So that's a big thing when you have a real world pilot. Yeah. As far as the McDo, I like the fact that Brad said, yes, this does follow the VNAV. To me, that's a big thing. Yesterday with the Magnite, it was a little bit frustrating that the VNAV wasn't being followed. Now, some of it was pilot error, and I need to do some more playing around with it. But this seems to have a solid McDo. I like that. I like that you can pop out the screens. I like that you can... it seems like it's well modeled. I just don't think there's as much behind the scenes. Also, I would like to know, is it written in C++? Do we know if that answer? Because from what I've gathered, the Flight Factor 320 is written, and it's kind of independent from the sim in the regard that it's, I don't know how to fully explain it, but it's written in C++, and it really sits outside, so it'd be easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to detach from some of the sim restrictions. Let's put it that way. I don't know if ToLiss has the same thing. It might. Other than that, I will say that at this present moment, if in some weird way I was forced to choose only one, oh gosh, I would choose the flight factor. But will that change over the next month? And Brad, hypothetically, if you were forced you could only fly one, which one would you do?
I'd probably still choose the flight factor, yeah.
But as Brad stated earlier, and Puck is going to try the ToLiss, it sounds like, right, Puck, in the future? Puck. Oh, Puck's muted. I will say that I'm going to keep it in the rotation. It is going to be in the rotation, and I'm not going to... when I go to fly an Airbus... I, like you, Brad, at one point said, well, why would I get a 319 when I have a really wonderful 320? Why? Well, I like it. I do like it. I do like it. And now I have all of you in the chat, and Brad and Puck and others to help me out. And I liked how Puck had never flown the ToLiss, but he knew a lot of what to do because of flying the flight factor. So I like that.
Yeah, they share the same type rating, which is nice, of course. There's very minute differences in the two, so it's very easy transition for somebody who already owns the flight factor or vice versa.
Yeah. All right, well, you guys need to keep on the lookout for the PB&J. Someone said there might even need to be an emote. So what have we started? But we're now just bread and jam right now because the peanut butter is on hot standby here. It looks like.
Hey, that's just as good. Toast and jelly, it's fantastic.
Exactly. All right. Well, while I have you, Brad, what's on the agenda for your next stream? Any ideas? What's coming up that you care to share?
Well, tomorrow night I'll probably be doing something to please the people who like to give me a hard time. I'll take the Rotate for a spin, I'm sure, and then the Magnite probably on Thursday as well. So taking out some jets that I don't normally have in my typical rotation. So we'll kind of diversify our flight sim experience. But other than that, systems normal. Just hanging out, having a good time and flying.
And PE soon.
Yeah, PE New Year's resolution here soon. So I'm actually working with Jordan as well. We're going to be he's going to be helping me along with it. He wants me to do group flights with him and stuff offline as well, just to kind of get the hang of it and all that. So you can expect to see that within the next week, I would say.
Yeah. Very cool. Puck, are you back? No. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Thank you, Brad, for joining me, and we'll see you. Happy New Year, my friend.
Yeah, you as well. happy, healthy, safe New Year. So I'm going to grab some lunch at this time. I'm hungry.
I'm going to eat my cold taco.
Well, thanks for having me, John, and we'll see you next year.
All right. See you, Brad. Thanks.
Bye-bye, guys.